For most of human history, the concept of cleanliness was far removed from our modern understanding of bacteria and pathogens. The earliest forms of bodily cleansing were less about germ theory and more about ritual status or sheer survival. Water, in its fundamental capacity, became a powerful agent, a medium for both physical removal and spiritual transformation. Archaeological evidence suggests that simple washing, whether with river water or collected rainwater, was practiced across diverse cultures. But these acts often carried deep symbolic weight. A cleansing wasn't merely about removing dirt. It was frequently an attempt to wash away misfortune, purify the spirit before a hunt, or prepare oneself for passage into adulthood. These early practices demonstrate that hygiene was intertwined with cosmology, a physical act reflecting a spiritual belief system. The focus lay not on sterile skin, but on restored harmony between the individual and their surrounding world. From riverbanks to ceremonial pools, these rituals varied widely. Some groups used ash or natural clays for exfoliation, while others employed smoke purification. These methods reveal that early hygiene was a complex negotiation between physical necessity and profound spiritual belief. The next great leap in human sanitation wasn't found in ritualistic washes, but in chemistry itself. The breakthrough arrived with soap, a product whose very existence is rooted in the simple process of saponification, reacting fats or oils with an alkali. This ancient chemical reaction transformed humble materials into a surprisingly potent cleansing agent. Initially, soap was not a commodity for the masses. It was often a luxury item, associated with bathing rituals reserved for elites and temples. Early production methods were labor-intensive, relying on readily available alkaline sources like wood ash or niter. However, as trade routes expanded and chemical knowledge advanced, soap began its slow descent from exclusive privilege toward widespread utility. Its commercialization signaled a profound shift. Hygiene was moving beyond the realm of spiritual obligation and into the emerging economy of daily life. By the Roman era, soap was already documented for its medicinal uses, solidifying its role beyond mere cleansing. This early commercial demand spurred industrial-scale production in centers like Gaul and later Byzantium. The resulting accessibility paved the way for modern hygiene practices. The Roman Empire's approach to cleanliness was nothing short of monumental. Their public bathhouses, or thermae, were far more than mere facilities for washing. They were sophisticated architectural feats and central pillars of civic life. These structures demonstrate an astonishing mastery of engineering. The Romans utilized complex hypocaust systems underfloor heating, powered by furnaces to create rooms that could be precisely heated at different temperatures. The cold plunge, the warm room, and the steaming hot bath. This controlled environment was paired with advanced plumbing networks, delivering fresh water from aqueducts into communal pools. Analyzing these thermae reveals an early model of communal sanitation on a grand scale. They served as social centers where citizens exercised, conducted business, and debated philosophy, all while maintaining rigorous standards of public hygiene. The baths were thus not just about the body. They were integral to the cultural fabric of Roman society itself. The sheer scale of waste management, from sophisticated latrines to drainage systems, underscores this commitment. These engineering marvels prove that advanced sanitation was inextricably linked to urban civilization itself. The fall of Rome marked a profound and often misunderstood decline in public hygiene. The grand, state-sponsored bathing culture simply faded away. In the ensuing centuries of the Middle Ages, daily cleansing shifted dramatically from a civic right to a private, class-specific affair. For the nobility, maintaining cleanliness became less about sanitation and more an elaborate display of wealth. Fine scented oils, expensive perfumes, and intricate grooming rituals signaled status, a visible marker that one was insulated from the grime of common life. Meanwhile, in rapidly expanding urban centers, poor infrastructure created a volatile mix of human waste and inadequate disposal systems. This neglect meant that disease became endemic, spreading through crowded streets and poorly ventilated dwellings. Hygiene therefore ceased being a universal civic utility. It became a fragile commodity, deeply intertwined with social standing and the ever-present threat of contagion. This disparity created stark social divides, the scented elite versus the unsanitary masses. The resulting epidemics like the Black Death underscored this vulnerability. Survival depended less on proper washing and more on isolation, transforming hygiene into a desperate measure against invisible threats. For centuries, illness was often attributed to miasma, bad air, bad humors, or divine displeasure. The understanding of disease remained largely speculative, treating symptoms rather than causes. This paradigm persisted until the late 19th century, when a revolutionary shift occurred with the advent of germ theory, pioneered by scientists like Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister. This concept was nothing short of radical, that invisible microorganisms were responsible for specific diseases. Suddenly, hygiene ceased being merely a social ritual. It became a scientific imperative. The realization that pathogens could be controlled through sterilization, antiseptic techniques, and vaccination fundamentally transformed medicine. It moved the focus from treating generalized suffering to targeting specific biological threats, setting the stage for modern public health infrastructure and transforming humanity's relationship with cleanliness itself. This scientific understanding demanded radical changes in hospitals and homes alike. Lister's pioneering use of carbolic acid in surgery drastically reduced postoperative infections, proving that cleanliness was a measurable factor in survival. This breakthrough established germ theory not just as an academic concept, but as the bedrock upon which modern medical safety and our daily habits of washing hands was built. But sanitation and hygiene were never confined to the clinic. The most profound transformation occurred in the very fabric of urban life itself. As America experienced unprecedented industrial growth, cities swelled at a dizzying pace. Millions migrated from rural farms into burgeoning factory towns, creating dense populations that overwhelmed existing infrastructure. This rapid urbanization presented an immediate public health crisis. Without modern sewage systems or reliable clean water sources, outbreaks of devastating diseases, most notably cholera and typhoid fever, became tragically common. The sheer scale of these epidemics forced a radical reckoning with municipal engineering. Suddenly, the problem of cleanliness became one of civil governance. It required massive coordinated investments in subterranean infrastructure, demanding revolutionary advances in sewage treatment, potable water delivery, and waste management that redefined what a modern city could be. Engineers responded by pioneering groundbreaking solutions. The construction of centralized sewer networks and dedicated water filtration plants became hallmarks of civic pride. These massive public works, from London's revolutionary underground systems to New York's aqueducts, didn't just treat waste. They fundamentally established the blueprint for modern urban living. The culmination of these efforts arrived in the private space, the bathroom. Before this era, sanitation was often an outdoor affair, relegated to ditches or communal privies. The introduction of indoor plumbing fixtures marked a profound shift, transforming waste management from a public spectacle into a controlled domestic function. Innovations like the flush toilet and reliable running water did more than just improve hygiene, they democratized cleanliness itself. Suddenly, sophisticated sanitation was not merely an elite luxury but became accessible to the burgeoning middle class. These fixtures quickly became potent symbols of scientific progress and modern comfort. Owning a private bathroom signaled stability, adherence to contemporary standards, and participation in the promise of urban modernity. The bathroom, therefore, evolved from a simple utility room into a deeply symbolic space, a sanctuary where personal science met domestic ritual. This shift fundamentally altered social geography. The bathroom became an extension of private life, a controlled environment away from public scrutiny. It embodied the Victorian ideal of domestic order, a testament to both scientific mastery and middle-class aspiration. This new ritualized cleanliness defined modern living. The story of hygiene, however, is not one of universal progress. For billions across the globe, the simple rituals we take for granted remain distant aspirations. The gap between developed and developing nations represents a profound chasm in human health. Access to clean water, functional sanitation, and basic soap, the pillars of modern cleanliness, are luxuries, not rights for many communities. This disparity is often termed hygiene poverty. It means that the inability to wash hands properly or safely dispose of waste directly translates into preventable illness. Consider the stark reality. Millions still rely on contaminated sources for drinking water, making every drop a potential vector for disease. Without adequate sanitation, safe latrines, or proper waste disposal, open defecation remains a silent epidemic, contaminating local environments and water tables. This cycle of contamination is devastating, fueling outbreaks of diarrheal diseases like cholera and typhoid. Addressing this requires more than just aid. It demands sustainable infrastructure and empowering communities with knowledge. True hygiene equity means ensuring that every person, regardless of their zip code or economic status, has the fundamental tools to stay healthy. Ultimately, the story of cleanliness is not a single invention, but a profound accumulation, a monumental achievement built across millennia. It weaves together breakthroughs in chemistry, engineering, sociology, and public health. From early innovations like boiling water over open fires to the development of formalized sewage systems beneath bustling ancient cities, each step represents a leap forward for human survival. The journey from basic waste disposal to germ theory was arduous, marked by trial, error, and relentless scientific curiosity. Today, we often take clean running water, reliable sanitation, and soap-lathered hands for granted. But this foundational public health reality is fragile, requiring constant vigilance and investment. It remains one of humanity's most critical, yet frequently overlooked imperatives, a quiet promise that underpins the stability and potential of civilization itself. The lesson is clear. Sanitation is not merely comfort, it is foundational infrastructure. Global efforts must prioritize universal access to clean water and hygiene education. By safeguarding these basic standards, from handwashing stations in schools to robust waste management, we secure not just health, but the very trajectory of human progress.